Week 18 of the 2024 NFL season has come and gone, which means the regular season is over and the playoffs are here. But we still got 1 week to recap, so it's professional quarterback Justin Arth here to rank my top 5 quarterback performances of Week 18. Make sure you guys go leave a like, comment, and all that good stuff so this can be pushed to more football junkies just like yourself. I've got 4 honorable mentions this week. I got my brother Malik Willis, Marcus Mariota, Joe Milton III, and Aaron Rodgers in maybe his last ever game in the NFL. Number 5, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert had a 125.2 QBR, 28 of 36 for 346 yards and 2 touchdowns, with 42 rushing yards on the ground. The Raiders did not want Justin Herbert throwing beautiful deep balls on them, so they came out and rolled to cover 2. They came out in a single high and then rolled to cover 2 at the snap. They tamped the Mike linebacker to try to get him deeper to cover the middle of the field for those deep posts, for the seams, to make sure that they couldn't attack that like they typically do in a Jim Harbaugh offense. But what that does is that opens up the middle of the field, and that is where Justin Herbert was attacking with beautiful power, beautiful touch, and beautiful ball placement. The outside hole shots were there, and he was able to hit Quentin Johnston on a lot of those deep balls to the outside of the field, but before the safety came over. He made some plays with his legs like we're accustomed to starting to see out of Justin Herbert, especially that 2-point conversion play where he's rolling out to his right, buys some time for Ladd McConkey on that back line to get that 2-point conversion to extend the lead to 7. A great performance by Justin Herbert as they enter the playoffs, and if the Chargers want to go deep in the playoffs, they need this Justin Herbert. Number 4, Bo Nix. Bo Nix had a 152.4 QBR, 26 of 29 for 321 yards and 4 touchdowns, with 47 additional rushing yards on the ground. In a game against a 15-1 Kansas City Chiefs, where they're resting most of their starters, and you need this win to get into the postseason, this type of Bo Nix needed to step up. You needed to dominate the Chiefs, you needed to blow out the Chiefs, and make a statement with great offense and with great quarterback play. And that is exactly what Bo Nix did this week. Of the 3 incompletions, 2 of them were actual incompletions with a spike that counts as an incompletion. What's huge in this game is 0 times sacked from Bo Nix. He showed off great timing and great accuracy the few times he did push the ball down the field, because they were with great play design, throwing screens and getting the ball maybe only 3 or 4 yards downfield. But when he pushed the ball downfield, extremely accurate and was perfect through the first half in completing passes. Extended plays with his legs and made plays with his legs, and then got the defense multiple times on cadence influxes. Hike 1, hike 2, hike, let's go. A great rookie season for Bo Nix, and he needs that against the Bills in the wild card round. Number 3, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray had a 128.5 QBR, 25 of 35 for 242 yards and 4 touchdowns, with 22 rushing yards on the ground. Ball placement and touch were on full display against the 49ers from Kyler Murray. A slow start with 6 of his 10 incompletions to start the game in that first quarter. Once that second quarter started, Kyler Murray was playing lights out the rest of the game. Kyler has this great innate ability to throw those touch balls, those fade balls, those corner balls into the end zone, and be able to layer the thing so beautifully. And a lot of the defenders he was throwing over were still some of the better defenders in the NFL, like a Fred Warner. Kyler was constantly in rhythm today and looked extremely calm out there. We need to see this Kyler a bit more consistently if we're going to see the Arizona Cardinals take that next step to becoming a playoff team under his tenure. Number 2, Geno Smith. Geno Smith had a 137.8 QBR, 20 of 27 for 233 yards and 4 touchdowns, with 14 additional rushing yards on the ground. Geno Smith was straight balling today. Beautiful ball placement, tremendous ability and subtle pocket movement to get back to open throwing lanes and create a good base to make those throws. Geno is who you want to watch if you want to watch evasive pocket movement. He is almost teach tape. He was able to use his legs a bit, which we don't typically see out of Geno Smith. When Geno Smith is on, he is accurate and a very fun quarterback to watch, especially when he's evading defenders just like this and making things on and off schedule to keep this offense rolling. Obviously, Seattle didn't make the playoffs, but Geno Smith poised for another great year in 2025. And number 1, Bryce Young. Bryce Young had a 123.5 QBR, 25 of 34 for 251 yards, 3 touchdowns in the air, with 24 rushing yards and 2 additional touchdowns on the ground. The redemption arc has finally completed for Bryce Young. Since the benching, you've seen a more decisive and confident Bryce Young. Against the Atlanta Falcons, who needed the win plus some help from Tampa Bay to get into the postseason, Bryce Young decided, hey, I'm going to come out here and play my best game of football I've ever played, and I'm going to eliminate my division rival and kick them out of the postseason and play spoiler. Bryce Young was throwing dimes all over the field on that Falcons defense. There was no tentativeness like we saw before the benching, and he decided to pull the ball down and run and get vertical. He was making plays in the run game. There was no second guessing out of Bryce Young, and this is what the Panthers selected with the number 1 overall pick a couple years ago. If we can see this Bryce Young consistently in 2025, boy, do we have another great quarterback in the NFC and maybe start to rival this AFC quarterback dominance we've been seeing.